Good morning! Magnolia here!
Hello, I'm Silveroxis, and the unit coming to Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent this week is the final unit from the Bravely Default Phase 2 collaboration event, Magnolia, the Dragoon from the Moon. With her gratuitous French and all. So moving on to what Magnolia does, she is a merchant, and her role is a spear DPS, and that is what she does well. Her special abilities is that she introduces the Dragoon jump ability into the game, and has self 100% potency up without needing Solin's ult. So she's always at like full strength ability without needing support in that regard. Her preferred weapons would be Fortune Spears for using her 7-hit, or Brilliant / Stalwart Spears for damage cap for using her jump skill, or a bit of both using Cosmic for slightly less stats than a Fortune. Kind of have to mix it up depending on where you're at with damage cap accessories and other types of damage cap support options. Her preferred accessories would actually be spear damage up gear, unless you're running supports like having both Richard and Particio to cap her spear damage up, as her latent passive only gives her 1 turn of passive spear damage up. Passive and active P attack up gear accessories are also very good, and then damage cap accessories are always good on your main DPS, always, regardless. So for her passive skills and latent power, her first passive is upon switching rows, she grants an AoE 30% speed down for 2 turns. This is only good to get speed down to ensure that her 5-hit spear always does 7 hits, although even then this passive's not always required, and you may even need to disable it in some fights depending on speed manipulation. Her 3-star passive is the really important one, is that when she uses 3 BP on an attack skill, she gains 100% potency up. This is considered all potency and thus does not stack with Solon, so therefore she doesn't need him to be at max strength unless you need his damage cap increase. Her latent power is called Bravely Second. It has an initial preparation time of 2 turns, and it's a cooldown for reuse of 4 turns. On activation, you gain Bravely Second for that turn, which grants Magnolia 30% passive spear damage up, 50,000 damage cap up, and dead aim. This only lasts for 1 turn, but if you want to use it for her jump attack, no worries, because if you activate it, you activate it the turn that you jump, and the duration won't decrease until she lands. So moving on to her skills, for her base skills, she has a 1-hit single target spear that inflicts speed down, a 1-hit AoE spear that inflicts speed down, another 1-hit AoE spear that inflicts speed down, but is a little bit stronger if they already have speed down, a 1-hit AoE spear that grants the front row HP barrier equal to 10% of her max HP, and gives herself a counter physical magical attacks buff for 3 turns. It has a decent power on the counter every time she gets hit. She has a 4-hit single target lightning, which is can be good for shield shaving. And then her 3-star skill is another 1-hit spear with a medium chance to inflict paralysis, and also grants front row 15% physical attack up for 2 turns. Moving on to her much better skills, 4-star skill is a 1-hit single target spear nuke. Just really strong single hit. Then moving on to her actually good skills. 5-star, she has a 5-hit single target spear that if the target has speed down, this becomes 7 hits instead. There are many ways to make sure that this is pretty much a guaranteed 7 hit at all times, so this is just great for shield shaving and great for nuking. Then her other skill is her Dragoon jumping skill. It's a 3-hit AoE spear that does really high power, like this will slam damage cap easily. So I'm going to explain it here just in case end game it's not explained super well. So the turn you activate the jump, she jumps in the air and can't be targeted by any attacks except overkill. You cannot jump over overkill. She cannot be targeted by any attacks or party effects for the rest of that turn. So if you want to do any buffing, do any buff-ins or anything, pets will always come at the beginning of the turn. You have to do it and make sure your party acts before she jumps, so that way she gets the buffs. Next turn, she will land and activate the attack with high priority. This means she will go before every other action regardless of their own priority, And like, so this will beat like Canary's ultimate priority attack, or any other types of, or Solin's ult priority, anything like that, because this is high priority. This attack will still go after any Swift Strike skills, like from Solin or Wudalai for Spear. This is important because Dragoon jump attacks cannot break enemies. And while Magnolia is in the air for this turn, any active passive buffs or debuffs or ultimate buffs at the same time she had on that turn will not decrease at all at the end of that turn. So if, for example, you activated her Bravely Second and jumped, it would not expire that turn despite its 1 turn duration. So when she lands next turn, she will get the benefits of using it. The jumping status will go away immediately upon landing, so if you jump on turn 4, she will land on turn 5 to be clear. So make sure you have Swift Strike set up to break before she lands. And like I said, it gets really strong, her 6-star thing, and it improves the power to all the way up to 3 times 390 with max boosted, which also with her self-potency is basically 3 times 780. Like, that's really, really strong. That's going to damage cap easily for 3 hits. You can build around this to have it be a decent thing, although nuking with her 7-hit will still be overall better. But you can still do pretty good damage if you want to jump into break and then 7-hit, however you want to do it. And then her TP skill is a 3-hit AoE lightning. If the target has speed down, then there's a medium 50% chance to inflict paralysis for 2 turns. Woo. So moving on to her EX skill and ultimate technique. Her EX skill has 2 total uses, and it's unlocked when the enemy has a speed down debuff. More on that later, but that will pretty much always be active. It's just a 1-hit single target spear that restores SP equal to 1% of the damage dealt, and the power doubles if the target hasn't acted this turn, which is also pretty easy to do. This is kind of like a good mini Giga Nuke that heals her SP back, and then you can kind of use it even when they have shields up, just to get a lot of SP still and do pretty good damage through shield. You might even be able to damage cap through shield if they're potentially, because this is going to be doing 1 times 800 power, plus if you max boost it, that's really 1 times 1600 power, so that's probably going to damage cap through shield. Her ultimate technique is a damage class ultimate. It takes 4 BP to fully charge from level 8. It is called Starlight Moon, and it is a 6-hit AoE spear that gains an extra 20% power if the target has speed down. It scales from 6 times 50 power up to 6 times 60 power at ultimate level 10. And the ultimate level 10 priority on this is leave it at ult 9. This ult is bad. It sucks. Its potency is just awful, and you can't use BP on ults to get her self-potency, so if you wanted to use this, you'd have to use Solin. Just don't bother. You could use this to shave shields, basically. Moving on to Awakenings, or her A4 accessory. A1, Magnolia loves A1, all DPSs do. It's recommended to get A1 if you're planning on getting Magnolia, so she does as much damage as possible with her 7-hit. A2 is a luxury, she doesn't have a lot of amazing skills, 3 is plenty. A3, HP is always good, but she's alright, doesn't need it. The only reason to get this is you kind of want to use her 10% HP barrier spear to help buff the other allies, because then if she has more HP, she gets more HP, that's about it. Her A4 accessory is the Moonlight Amulet. It gives 80 SP and 60 P attack. And while there is an enemy with speed down, gain 50 SP regen. And at the start of battle, you inflict 10% AoE speed down for 3 turns. The overall A4 tier rating for this is a C tier A4, barely. It's simply not a good A4 for a limited collab A4. The stats are not that good. And while the SP regen is very high, one of the highest in the game for an accessory to have, and it will almost always be active as Signa exists. More on that later. And almost always from if Magnolia existing too as well. There's just so many other ways to manage SP easily without chasing this lackluster A4. Like, the other effect of starting battles with AoE speed down is also super whatever, because like Duran's A4 is free and does the same speed down. So, like, just don't chase this A4 unless you're a well A4 collector. Like, it's just bad. Like, if you love the unit and you're like, oh, I really want to collect it, that's great. But this A4 is not worth your money. It's just not good. It's bad, really. It's just really bad. Like, because even if you're struggling with SP now, like, you won't when Shauna comes out. So, like, you're fine. So moving on to an optimal skill layout for her. Skill 1, her 5 to 7 hit spear. This is her best shield shave and overall nuking option. Always bring, and like I said, if Signa exists, it'll always be 7-hit. So, like, just always have this. Skill 2, I would bring her jump skill. Granted, it's only 3 hits, but it's a very strong 3 hits that can do a lot of damage through shields if you want. And it's actually great for stalling buffs on turn on her to help her last till break as well. So you can kind of, like, you know, spread your buffs out. Like, even if you know, throw her out or a little early or whatever, the buffs will stall and delay for a turn. And you can do very respectable damage if you stack all your damage cap possible on her anyway. So this is a fine to bring along. It does have its uses. It's just not her best nuking tool because it's only 3 hits. For skill 3, I would probably bring the 1-hit AoE spear that can paralyze and also buff front row P attack. Some utility and party support to cap active P attack buff can be useful. If you do have A2 for a 4th skill, or you want to swap around a 3rd skill depending, I would probably take the AoE Spear with HP Barrier and her counter because it gives some defensive utility, a little extra HP cushion, and yeah, the counter skill does a little extra damage every time she gets slapped, so why not? Defensive utility, like I said, and if you don't have Signa because your account's newer, you can take one of her AoEs, AoEs that also inflicts speed down to help out if you don't have the ability to swap her to the back row. You know, whatever works best for you. So moving on to unit synergy, the Signa thing I was talking about, it's more than just Signa things, it's extra Signa things because we have her TP early. Like when other servers got Magnolia, their Signa didn't have TP yet, ours does. Which means if Signa exists with at least 50% of her SP, which she probably will have because she has a lot of SP, and a lot of times you're using it for her ult, and then she kind of sits in the back row and she gets SP back and stuff because she's just not always in the front row, so she's always going to be healthy in SP. Her TP passive is permanence, 5% speed down to all enemies as long as she has over 50% SP. So that will always be active if Signa exists, and Signa is probably going to be in every team Magnolia is in for both this reason and the ult debuffs. So, like, they just make it to where Magnolia is just infinitely doing 7-hit spear, and it's really useful. Enough said. Surprisingly, Solon is really great with Magnolia, because despite its ult potency up not working on Magnolia, you can use it on a sub DPS instead, which is really useful, or you can give it to Magnolia still to give her the extra damage cap if necessary as well. The damage cap of the ult does get extended by Lucetta Mabel passive, by the way, so if you're like main DPSing Magnolia with Lucetta behind her, if you ult someone that has Lucetta behind them, while the potency up only lasts that turn, the 50k damage cap will actually last 2 turns, because that does get extended by Lucetta by the passive, just FYI. But the main reason to bring Solon is because he has a 3-hit random target swift strikes that hit spear, so it's very good to have him be like a breaker for Magnolia if you want her to jump into break, so it's very, very useful. And then another option is Woodalai, general pool units. She has a swift strike, 1-hit AoE spear that can also be set up to break for Magnolia if you're jumping into battle, or into break, I mean. Roland, passive spear res down, ult spear res down, active spear res down. He does everything for spear. He's really, really great. If you don't have Roland and you want to build a really good spear team, you need Roland. Triangle Strategy is getting rerun next month. Consider it. Particio, excellent spear support options. If you already got them, great. If you didn't, don't worry about it. But if you got them, use them with Magnolia. Richard, same thing. You use him for sword teams, you use him for spear teams. He doesn't have spear res down, active spear res down like he does with sword, but with his TP now he does have active PDEF down. He can't help shield shave, but his torrent formation does buff spear damage up as well, and his ult does do spear damage up, so that is the only source of ultimate spear damage up simply, with Particio. So, like, that's just very good to have. So if there's room, or you don't have one or both, or you can even bring both, he's a very good unit for supporting spear as well. And then Primraix, because you need regen. Until Shauna, at least, you definitely need regen. Shauna might be better in the future for SP reasons, but for now, like, Primraix is great. So whether you should pull or not to pull Magnolia, it's like this. Like, Spear's in this weird place. It's always been this weird place as a damage type. It's actually very, very strong. It's just that, like, almost all of its best units and supports are all limited, and they're often collab/champ limited, which means you can't exchange for their stones, which is just extra over MTs, and even SBs now that, like, Dorothea got buffed. And unfortunately, this is where Magnolia finds herself as also a collab unit. She's extremely solid and will be useful for quite some time, as she does not need Solon for max damage, so she plays nicely along with other DPSs, allowing for more potential damage, because you can now do like multi-DPS builds again, potentially. Her output is very solid with a reliable 7-hit single target attack that will be always active if you have Signa, for example, and almost always active because it's very easy to set up. And she has the extremely powerful 3-hit AoE from her Dragoon jump that will easily slam damage cap. She's fun, and she's very easy to use. Nothing really complicated outside of jump, which I hope I made as simple as sounding as possible. Her main flaw is that 7 hits is her highest hit with only decent potency. Like, it's a 80 potency max boosted to 160 with her when max boosted with her self potency up. I mean, that's good. That's very good. It's just it's only 7 hits, which a lot of DPSs later get even more hits than that. And unfortunately, she has no exploits on her moves at all. She only hits spear. And all the best options, like I said, that are coming in the future are very limited. Ashka, Sazantos EX, Nier, Roland on the rerun. All of them are collab or champ limited. So if you want to build a spear team, she's an excellent pickup to have a lot of fun with, and Dragoons are just always cool. As always, ignore pull advice if you love a unit. If you think she's the best and really cool, pull and have fun in the game your way, and because she is really cool. So yeah, tier 4 FTP, I honestly would still recommend skipping unless you love her. It's better Uber limited spear DPSs come out later, like Ashka and Sazantos EX. Sazantos EX really just takes Dragoon and does it better than her. Like it or love it or hate it. Tier 3, low spin and passes, I'd still say skip. Same reason, save rubies to use on later spear DPSs that outclass her. Tier 2 Dolphin, I could say you could go up to A1 or A0 and buy the stone, or just A0 even. But I would still say A1 because that extra damage can matter, and she's a solid DPS for your spear team, and self-potency allows double DPSing to return stronger than ever. And if you're a whale, I would say at least A1. Go as far as you want. Her A4 is really bad, so collectors only. Overall rating for her DPS, I'd still say she's an S+ DPS. Very solid, very strong. She has a little bit of support options, so I'd rate her a C there. No healing or tank options. So then her overall tier rating, I would rate her as a solid A+. You know, a very good unit, not a must pull, but definitely you will not regret having this unit. So if you have a good amount of rubies and you like the unit, go for it. Kind of rate it based on your account, but you know, she's fun. Very simple, very fun. Anybody can use her without too much issue. Other than that, please let me know if you pulled for her and how lucky you got. And if there's anything else, any other types of videos or content you'd like to see, please let me know below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Please like, follow, subscribe for more COTC content like this and other upcoming clears as well. And otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.